new challenge series. Go to new game here. You're going to go to custom game. We're going to take the whole map. Go North America this time. If there's good interest in it, we'll do it in Europe later. So we're going to go, we're looking for Halifax. Perfect. See how we're way up in the right-hand corner? We're going to pick that. We'll take Helen Gerard, as you know, that's what I like. We'll put the region concessions on to make it a little harder. Luxury rail lines, we'll leave that off. Okay, so initial funds, we'll leave it that. We'll add 3 competitors. We'll take the tasks off because they deal with freight. You'll know why here in a second. The rest will leave the same. So the idea behind it, we're not going to be able to do any freight whatsoever. It's just going to be express lines. And the idea is to see if we can beat our competitors by just doing express lines. As you can see, we're starting in Halifax. Really, the only 2 cities we have is Halifax and Moncton. We're going to go ahead and drop some stations down for them. Okay, now, so we laid down a track from Halifax, going through Moncton. So on this one, we're using our first line and our second line. So 1, 2, all the way through in each station. Now, we're going to have to go in and put a maintenance station, and we picked Bangor. And the reason we're going to do that is because if you look at where other cities are, see, we could go up to Chicoutimi, Quebec with the line from Bangor. We obviously already have one going to Halifax. And then we could come down to Boston, see how we can strategically put our maintenance station there. So we laid down our track line from Bangor to Portland to Boston. Remember, Bangor still has the maintenance depot. So we're going to go Bangor, Portland, Boston, Portland. Set that up with our grasshoppers. We'll go 6 trains and we'll bump the other one up to 6 trains too. All right, so now we have 2 train lines running. So what else can we do? If we look around, where we'd have to get into another concession down there. But see, we have the maintenance thing in Bangor, so maybe we should keep rolling with Bangor before we go down further. So if we bought Quebec, we could go Bangor, Quebec, Chicoutimi. That could be an easy line. So we laid out our line to Quebec City. Oh, perfect. Let's go ahead and put that down. So we have a twin there. That's good. So we'll go ahead and put our gridiron. Go ahead and put that down. Now, Quebec City, we're not going to put a gridiron there because we're just going to go straight through. So we'll go ahead and lay our Chicoutimi line down. All right, now we can go back in and lay down our line itself. So Bangor to Quebec City, to Chicoutimi, back to Quebec City, put it on Express. Okay. What I did do off screen was I bought a bond here, or floated the bond. So there's that. Now the other thing we can do is go into our research. We'll take this because it increases passengers by 5%, so that's good. This one increases price by 5%, that's also good. So both of those, because obviously we're going to really concentrate on getting our income up as quick and as fast as possible. So what we can do next is we can go ahead and put Montreal down. Now, which way do we want to spin it? Montreal is I would say we probably want to do a line from Quebec to Montreal to Ottawa eventually, and maybe put a supply depot or a maintenance depot in Ottawa. So that means Montreal's not going to need one. They're going to go that way. Montreal could go to Portland eventually, but I think that should be really about all we're going to need to do. So we could do something like this. So we put our Quebec City down the Montreal line. So we'll go ahead and put a few trains on there. We just got a connection bonus in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to start adding in our multipliers. So post office will give you plus 20%. Restaurant will give you 15. So obviously you go with the 20 over the 15 because it has a maintenance depot. So then we can start going back all our lines, but in the post office, restaurant, because just by putting that down, we're increasing 20% all our mail and 15% all our passengers. So the earlier we get those, the better, really, right? Because right now, I think each train was making something like 5,000, give or take. So if we can increase that by 15 to 20%, let's say split the difference 17.5%. I mean, that's going to add up very quickly. We'll make back this money, no problem. And if you don't have a whole lot, you definitely want to at least do these ones here, say where there's multiple lines going through one station. You want to start there for sure. That's definitely where you want to start. So now we're ready to rock and roll. So we'll go down to Southern Ontario, 260. Okay, so we're going to have to let time run a little bit here. Perfect. And then we're going to start working on getting Ottawa. So we added Ottawa in, and now we're going to want to go into our Quebec City to Montreal line, and we're going to want to extend that so we can hit all 3 cities. So we'll go ahead and bump it up to 6 trains. There we go. Now the other thing we're going to want to do is go in and put a maintenance depot here, and we may as well put the post office. But the main thing was the maintenance depot. So now that we finished our line from Toronto to London, we have a train line ready to go here with our 6 trains. We'll put that on. We could come down here and buy 4 CDs for $4.67, which I think will give us more because we could do Ottawa, Syracuse, Buffalo with this. And we could also do Ottawa, Albany, New York. Perfect. We have our line all laid out from Ottawa down to Syracuse to Buffalo. You might notice I put a second line in. The reason for that is because I only have 2 more spots open, 5, 6, 7, 8 up here. So I need 5, 6 to go to Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury eventually. And I'm thinking 7, 8 will go Val-d'Or, the White River, or at least to Val-d'Or. So if I want to do this here, I can have 1 line here. I can have 1 there, possibly another one somewhere else. So that's why I went and built another train or track or warehouse. And so if we go in here, we're going to take this because it gives us 5% off our locomotives, which we're about to buy. So if we line this up, get everything in there. Now we got it for 5% off. Got our express line in. Perfect. It's time to put some trains on this line to Albany and New York. So let's put a grasshopper in. This time let's bump it up. I think it's time to bump our trains up a bit. We'll put 10 on that one. Connect Toronto with Buffalo, but neither one has a maintenance depot. So we stuck just an empty station here and put a maintenance depot in it. And so this way, when the trains come through, they'll get maintenance in Cooper Stop. So we got 6 trains on that. And we also bumped up all of our modifiers on all our stations. Now it's time to go and see who's getting what. So Syracuse is not going to New York, and they're also not going to Albany. So we're going to have to get a line from Syracuse to Albany next. So we finished our line from Syracuse to Albany, and we put in another. Now, we're not using that freight, so don't worry about that. But we're going to put in, say, 6 trains. Oops. Express. Perfect. And that way, Syracuse can get to Albany and New York. So that's sort of a 2-for-1 there. Now we're going to start working on New York itself up to Boston. We have it all set up. So now we're going to go New York City. Adams Stop only has maintenance in there. And that way it can go back and forth to Boston. And we'll go 6 for now. We may have to bump that up though because they're bigger cities. So now if I click on Boston, let's see, where can I not get to? So I still can't get the Montreal of the cities I hooked up to. What about New York? New York can't get to... Okay, those are all cities we haven't connected to yet. So New York's getting everywhere. So Montreal, okay, so if I look at Montreal, I could go Montreal to Boston, but really, seems like Montreal to Portland would make the most sense, doesn't it? So we're going to put a train down in Montreal, go through a maintenance station, come back, perfect. We'll throw 6 on that and see how it does. So if we just zoom out, that really should give us everything connected. There really shouldn't be any issues whatsoever within the cities I have. The only one we haven't touched yet is Valdor, and we'll get to that next. So let's see, we could do the Mid-Atlantic. I think maybe that's a good one to do because see, we have our maintenance depots in Ottawa and Bangor. So if we come down to Washington, Washington could easily be the next one, or Philadelphia. I think I made up my mind. I'm gonna go with Washington for my maintenance center. Let's go ahead and put Philly in here. We have some research available here, so let's go ahead and take the faster train. So we don't need that warehouse anyway, so let's go ahead and take the faster train. And let's go ahead and put our line down from Washington, D.C. to Philly to New York. And we'll put 10 trains at this time. We'll go with the better train, the John Bull. And it may take a few more seconds. It's going to cost more for sure. But as you see, the difference is 24 kilometers to 34 kilometers. Big difference. There we go. We got that down. So if I go into my engine shed, if I go to replace engines, because I should want to do this, to replace them all is almost 2 million. But it's something I should do really, because I'll make more money in the long run. We did a line from Washington to Pittsburgh to Buffalo. We'll go ahead and put our 10 trains on that. Now, can we go back in? Can we go back into our replace engine? Yes, we can. Perfect. Now everybody's a jumble. Okay, so let's pause this for a second. Now let's see, where can Washington not get to right now? Okay, of the ones we're already connected to. Getting to Buffalo, they're getting to Albany, Toronto. So basically they're getting everywhere. Okay, let's see, what about Pittsburgh? Where can Pittsburgh not get to? Okay, they're getting everywhere so far. London, okay, London, Ontario, they're not getting to. Okay. Let's look at Philadelphia. Where are we sitting here? Okay, Philadelphia cannot get to Buffalo. Okay. Let's see what we can do there then. We put a maintenance station here in the middle of nowhere and brought in our Philly to Buffalo to London. So we're going to put that line down and see how that works. See if that takes care of some of our issues. Let's go back down and see where can Philly not get to. Okay, they're getting to Buffalo. They're getting to London. Go ahead and put 6 on that. Express. Okay, we'll let it run just for a couple seconds. Okay, now let's look back. Should be no reason we're not getting to London. Perfect. Okay, what else? We know Washington's good. Philly's good. Buffalo's good. What about Albany? Can Albany get to Pittsburgh? That's probably the number one question. Even are they getting to Pittsburgh? Where is Pittsburgh? There it is. Okay, through Syracuse. Okay, so they're good. Then surely Syracuse should be good then. Yep, they're getting everywhere. So the only other one I'd say to check is New York. Yeah, they're getting everywhere. Perfect. Then really everyone else should be okay. I mean, Boston, if they were getting to Albany, really Boston should be okay, but we'll check them, I guess, just to be sure. So yeah, they're getting to everyone. So here's what we have so far. We bought the whole Northeast. Once we get down here, we're getting into like the middle or even the south. And then we got half of Ontario, not the whole thing. We didn't do Val-d'Or yet, but we're saving them for later. And so as of right now, we're just under $1 million in revenue, and everything's maximized. Like everything has its post office, its restaurant, and everything has a maintenance depot either on the line or at one of the cities. Our main maintenance cities are Bangor, Ottawa, and Washington, D.C. So far, we managed to do, there's a maintenance here, here, and here for going through the mountains, and one between Boston and New York. But so far, we only have 3 cities with maintenance depots, and we've connected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cities with just 3 maintenance depots. So just, if you want to look at how much we're making here, okay, 2 of those lines are just laid, so they're not going to show up anything at first. So we got a couple lines that's near 100. These 2 are over 100. This is over 100. And then 73, 68. So as you can see, no warehouse, no businesses, no nothing. We're still doing very good income. Come back and watch the next video where you're going to see us push to the west, and also we'll push down towards the south, possibly the Midwest as well.